Okay, now
Okay.
what if you're not, Doug, what if you need to sell your house but you're not in a difficult situation in
Hmm.
terms of you didn't have a sickness in the family, you
Yeah.
didn't have a job loss. It might be your own house or it could be even an investment property that you own.
Right. And there's all kinds of different things to think about. Let's just start off with your own house. So um, there's different reasons why you're moving, but if you are going to be putting it up for sale, you want some good advice on really what are you going to make on the property, and what we talked a little bit about this last time. Should I wait? Should I not wait? So those types of things you need to work through. And then, like for an example, an investment property, we always suggest, of course, again, talking to a good tax specialist, but maybe now is the time to sell an investment property because they might change the capital gains rules, and so you might get caught paying more if you sell it next year than you do this year for capital gains purposes. So there's a lot of
Right, and it depends on if you're a business owner or you get any kind of 1099 income, that can play a factor too, right? You want to talk to your tax advisor about how much you might potentially make or lose if you
yep,
sold an investment property, because if you plan on having a lot of income this year, it might end up, now might not be the best year to sell that property. It might be better to rent it out and wait. Or,
mm-hmm,
like you said, I mean, a lot of properties bought over the last, 5 to 10 years have experienced drops where you might not experience any capital gains really to speak of. Now might be the right time to see it, to sell it if you foresee, your income going up, after this year or something
yep,
like that. Your tax advisor, your accountant should be asking you those types of questions when you tell them, I'm thinking of selling this property,
yep.
right? So,
And another thing that I just had come to mind is that if you're going to sell something, maybe rather than getting cashed out, you might want to look at the idea of a lease with an option,
okay,
or selling it on a contract for deed. Now you're getting cash flow,
yeah.
and versus just getting a lump sum payment, you're getting some cash flow for a while. And there is some arguments to why that's a good deal too.
Yeah, I mean,
Why
those
she's
can
maybe
be,
getting it.
those aren't risk-free, but it's kind of,
Hmm. Yep.
definitely a lot better than just a rental, because with a lease with option or a contract for deed, you're basically, getting them to put some money down, maybe somebody who has had something bad in their financial history but has a stable job now, has the
Hmm.
money. They just don't qualify for a conventional loan, especially in this mortgage market, which is really quite rigid now,
Yep.
compared to even 3 years ago. And so sometimes those can be good deal, a win-win. You're helping out a family or a person in need who needs to buy a house, and you're kind of going beyond what a rental would be, where you're having to get new renters or find new renters or negotiate new rent every 12 months.
Exactly. Yeah.
But then
Well,
some people do. I mean, I've got a couple of rentals, and I've been a landlord in the past. So I'm
hmm.
okay with being a landlord. I'm okay with playing the rental market. I know the rental market well. I know how to rent out houses quickly on Craigslist. And I know there are some people that own investment properties out there like that. And, if you can wait, if you can keep making the payments, um, sometimes the easiest answer is, if you're not in a difficult situation, maybe you shouldn't sell it. Or sometimes I don't know if you've had a direct client who's had this, but there might be a really good reason to sell it, even though you're not going to make a lot of money on the property, like you've got a new business opportunity.
Or there might be another piece of real estate that's better than the one you own,
Right.
that has better cash flow, that has better opportunity for appreciation than the one that you have. So dump the one you got, jump into the new one.
Which in this
There you go.
case, what we're talking about is, where you wouldn't be a short sale, because
Right.
that gives you some flexibility in what you can do, whether it's your primary residence or not. Especially, I think, what I've talked to people about in terms of either they want to reduce their monthly payments,
Hmm.
um, or they want to move up, in terms of a lifestyle need. now they've got a baby, or, like I had twins,
Well,
so life
yeah.
like that kind of happens, and
Yeah.
sometimes you just need to move.
Yeah. Well, I have a friend that lived in the Northeast, and every year would be going down to Florida, and really liked that in the winter. And last winter he was down there, and he found a $5 million home on the Gulf that was being offered at 1.5. And so he said, I guess I'm moving. So he bought it, sold his place up north, and instead of going down there in the winter, now he's going back up north in the summer. But he got a heck of a deal that you probably couldn't normally get if it wasn't for this type of real estate market right now.
Yeah,
Anyways,
I was talking
lots of
to a fellow agent about it was a model home over in Blaine that the people had originally bought, like 4 years ago for $950,000, and it ended up, it was a short sale situation, and it ended up they bought it for $410.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? Yeah.
And it's just mansion of a house. So sometimes it does make sense if you're not in a short sale situation, or you're not behind on your payments or something. It really can make sense to move up now because like in those scenarios 10, 15 years from now, you're probably going to be very thankful that you moved now.
Yeah.
We don't know what the future holds.
Yeah. Well, it looks like our time is kind of running out for this
Okay.
segment of the Friday
Sounds good, Doug.
real estate discussion. By the way, Sean, and for everybody that might be listening to this, is we'd appreciate any feedback you have on these, and also we're looking for a good catchy name for these Friday recordings, these Friday discussions about real estate. So if you've got a good name you want to give these, we'd be glad to hear it. So,
Sounds good.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, I appreciate your time.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Okay, well, see you later.
Okay, thanks, Doug. Take care.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye now.